Hey Zane, we're back. How are you?
I'm good, excited to talk about my second favourite action phase.
Excellent. Phase two and phase three, I believe.
Phase 2 and Phase 3. So, Phase 2 is where you get to pick up UFO salvage if you haven't done before, sort out your defence budget, ready your SIFs for next turn, upgrade your units, change your DEFCON, and declare war. And
Sounds
Action
fun.
Phase. Yes, Action Phase 3 is when you have a go away from the map and leave the aliens to do their stuff at the map. So,
Okay, secret
let's have
stuff.
a look at the picking up salvage. So,
Okay.
anywhere that there is salvage that hasn't already been scooped up by those pesky spec ops, any units in that territory can collect the salvage gems. If there are two or more different units from different players there, the unit with the highest initiative gets to grab the gem.
You just thought what answer I was going to ask. So well done.
Sorry. Apprehending your questions already, Chris. Sorry.
Nice.
Uh, After that, we go to military budget. So let's have a look at Algeria. Algeria currently on moderate budget. You can at this point reduce your military budget by one or increase it by one. So if we increase our budget, we have to pay the new budget level, which is 15 mega credits for these guys, and then get to deploy all the units in this box next to high. So they've got two old tech units, and they can deploy them anywhere they have a base or an ally with a base.
Okay.
So boom, boom, and they've got a fleet in this one, and they can place that in any sea territory that's adjacent to their home territory.
How about a base where a base is located?
I guess they could go to an adjacent sea next to an allied base.
Okay.
And that's as simple as deploying new units.
Okay.
If you reduce it, so if we were on high and we came to it and you said, I don't really want to be paying 15 anymore, you can drop it down one, and then you need to remove off the map some armies and fleets to fill those voids. So we don't have to actually take them from there. I do have to take Algerian troops, not South African ones, so I can take these units down at the bottom and bring those up and put them
And it
back.
doesn't matter if they're old tech or modern tech; they just have to be armies.
Just armies, doesn't matter what type of tech they are, and a fleet to fill those, and they move back
Okay.
there. So it doesn't matter. Obviously, there's a strategic advantage to you having your better armies deployed at the lower budgets, but there's nothing stopping you bringing them back and placing on there. But you will have to pay. You'll have to move it up to redeploy them.
Okay. And what happens if I don't have enough money at all? If I go, even I haven't got 5 mega credits for my military, what happens then?
If you have absolutely nothing, then you have no armies or fleets deployed. Move your token off, bring everything that you have back onto the mat.
And we have to point out at this point, obviously, we expect that the military commanders are also gathering intel and speaking to other people as well as the diplomats. So if your president or your prime minister will not give you any money for your fleets or your armies to deploy, then you can still be gathering intelligence, talking to people, and doing a kind of diplomatic military role.
Absolutely, yes. The other bit while you're here as well is you need to pay for any bases you have deployed. You'll have a physical base sat on here, and if it's not sat on here, you need to be paying your upkeep. So for your second base, your first base is free, that's in your home territory, but your second base will cost you 5 mega credits per turn, and your third base will cost you 10 per turn. Your third base can be placed on a foreign map. And you'll also need to get your influence, so you need to choose how much influence you want for the next turn at this point as well. And that's 0. Even if you spend 0, you get 1. 1 gets you 2, etc. Up to a maximum of paying 5 for 6 influence. That
Okay.
is the defense budgets. Then we go to SIFs, our lovely, lovely SIFs. So let's have a look at the South Africans, because theirs got damaged. So here,
I still feel bitter about that.
it's terrible. Stray bullet.
Yeah, awful, unlucky.
At this point, first thing you do is get to decide how many of your SIFs, up to a total of 3, you want to put out on the runway that are able to engage next turn, and you can put out SIFs whether they are damaged or undamaged. So you can choose to put your damaged SIF on the runway. There is a warning there that if that SIF takes another hit, it will be destroyed. Or you can leave it there. Any SIFs left in the hangar bay get flipped to operational. So essentially they can sit out a turn and get fixed.
Sure. But obviously I can, like you mentioned just then, I can deploy it, but I am running the risk of having it destroyed completely.
Yes, so
if it's hit again.
Absolutely. So it's a risk of, do you want your home territories invaded by these radar blips, or do you want to get it operational again? Or do you want to go and talk to those lovely corporations and see if they'll sell you some more SIFs? Along with lots of other lovely action cards. After you've done your SIFs, if you have, look at segue there, Chris, it's like I thought about it. If you had talked to your mega corporations, you might have found that they have some upgrades where you can upgrade your old tech to modern tech armies. So if you have one of these lovely cards, you can upgrade any one of your old tech into modern. So this one that I just brought back, I could swap him out and replace him with a brand new modern tech, and I've just upgraded him. I can also do that with any unit on the map that's in the same place as a friendly or your own base.
Okay.
Nice and simple. After that, DEFCON. Now, unfortunately, South Africa and Algeria don't have any known nuclear weapons, therefore don't have a DEFCON status.
Probably good for the world.
At this point, if you are playing a DEFCON nation, this is where they get to change their DEFCON status. It's either 3, 2 or 1, and it will show up on the turn timer app and on the turn timer projection on the screen. It will go green, orange and red. So if, say, Russia drop theirs to 2, it'll be there for everyone to see. And if it goes to 1, we should all probably panic and look for nuclear bunkers.
Yeah, and convince those that are trying to fire the weapons not to do it.
Yes, pray to them to not fire.
Yeah.
Then after that, declare war. So this is when you can formally deliver your declaration of war.
To the map facilitator so everybody hears.
Yes, yeah, and notifies your enemy. I presume you should have your leader's consent before you just declare war.
That's probably a good idea, I'd say.
Yeah. That is the whole of Action Phase 2. We then come to Action Phase 3. Absolutely brilliant. You have to leave the map. So this is where you get to go and negotiate, chat to your team, catch up with other map players, ask them why they did lovely things they did. And at this time, some of the alien players will come back. They'll resolve the stuff they're doing at the map and place new radar contacts for you to intercept next turn.
Wonderful. And then we obviously go on to the press broadcast. So that's when the GNM players will tell the world what's been happening in the last turn. And we move on to team time, which will be 10 minutes where you get to update your team about what's been happening on the map and what guidance you're going to get to go back to for the next turn.
You will notice there are 2-minute breaks between each of the phases. They're not really breaks, they're just time for you to get from one area of the building to another, because we're playing across a large area. So it's just sort of 2 minutes to get from team time to action phase 1, etc. So
absolutely, yeah.
Time to make your way and get through all the crowds.
Yes.
I think that's it for this one, Chris.
I think you're right. So thanks very much, Zane. And if you have any questions, please let us know in the Discord.